If you're a product-based business, you're going to have some type of compliance update, whether the product changes, the way you collect their data changes, the UX is going to change. And if you're service-based, you might have changes like who their relationship manager is, who you're going to invoice, how the invoicing is now going to work, the contract terms that might be changing. So at some point in the business, regardless of what you do, you're going to want to communicate, this thing is changing. I need to let the people know. They don't need to necessarily take action on it, but I do need to let them know it's changing so we have paper trail that took place. Okay, so this diagram is going to show us how a business makes sure important compliance messages reach the right customers and get acknowledged so nothing is missed and the company stays protected. So you'll have some type of compliance update, like I just mentioned, that's going to trigger this system. From there, I would say your very first question you want to ask as a business is who is going to be impacted so we can send out the proper emails. So some impacts that could take place. Maybe you're changing the colors and branding of your business and you want to let everybody know so that they don't feel like you guys just disappeared, or when you want to interact with us in the future, this is now what we're going to look like. So that would be like an everyone situation. We just want to send it to all contacts. There's not really a criteria. Everybody needs to know this. Other times, if you have like a product, an easy example for old customers, there was a feature that you guys used to host or a feature that you used to allow people to use. It's now going away. It's been replaced. You got to let them know that, hey, that's legacy. We're no longer supporting that starting this date. And then sometimes it's new customers only. So, hey, we didn't have something in terms of service between these two dates. We got to let you know that this stuff is going away or it is changing. And we have to let those customers that just signed up with us be aware of that change. This could also be things based on, like I said, products that they use, services that they're signed up with. It could also be based on sometimes how much they're spending with you, how impactful that customer is to your revenue, and how you want to go about sending this message. So that's what I would first think through. So we have a criteria to then automate it. If you don't have a criteria, you can't automate it. Sometimes, I should actually say a lot of the times when I've worked with customers, we think of things where they want to just do something automatically, some type of task. But then when we try to think through the criteria, they don't actually have a pattern of when we should send out this automation or when we should start the automation, which is really the whole key to the entire thing. You have to have a pattern so the automation knows when to pick this stuff up. So think through that first. And then after we do that, we're going to get the contacts and then send the compliance testing email. I always recommend sending like a test one first. Make sure you approve of the copy, check with marketing, check with your compliance, make sure everything was set, it looks good, it's formatted. And then from there, you can send the real one. But I have this one listed as the testing email first, just to make sure you don't forget that piece, and then go into sending your real one. From there, you have a couple options of what you could do. You don't necessarily need to watch when people open these. I think it's a nice thing to do. You could just set up a series of emails and, hey, no matter what, everybody's going to get 5 emails with notifications that things are changing. Sometimes if you're a little bit of a smaller business and you don't want to do that, you could also set something up where you're just looking to make sure that, you get a certain percentage of people that have opened the email through a series of emails that you send. So an example of that would be when I've worked with smaller businesses that don't want to spend a lot of time on email copy and setting up a series to let people know things are changing. It's also probably, just being honest, lower impact because you have less customers. It's a little more casual that way. If that's you, then what I would do is, maybe craft 2 to 3. And then in those 2 to 3 that you have one that sends out. We check to see if they've opened it. If they've opened it, don't worry about it again. If they have not opened it, we send the second one. If they open the second one, then don't worry about them anymore. And then the third one is used for kind of the cleanup. Whoever else hasn't opened theirs, it's almost like the final. That way, if anybody ever comes back, hey, we tried to send 3 in a row. This was the final message on the third one. We made that clear. This is when this thing was changing. That's a little more casual way of doing it. Again, it depends on probably who's impacted and what you're actually changing and how much that matters. Some things I would also consider to do if you're on the larger scale, you're a bigger business, and you are, let's say, product, or you have a customer portal of some sort, if you're service, then what I would then allow you to do is try to set up some type of banner inside of your product or portal as well. Hey, this thing's changing, or click here to see our newest updates. And that way you have it in a few different places. It's not just email. You're trying to communicate this through different mediums so that they can see this. The last piece I would add here to this is if you have certain customers that are much larger than others, so you have like a couple whales that you have as customers, that if something goes wrong, this is going to be a bad thing that happens for your business. You may also want to consider how you want to get in touch with those people. Not always are you going to want to do this for every customer because it may just not affect you that way. But if there is a large one and you know, hey, if they don't read this or they don't accept this and we make this change, it's going to be bad for us, then you're going to want to think through what's the strategy for like our relationship manager to reach out to them. If they don't answer email, do we have their phone number? Do we have a Slack with them? What's another way we can communicate this stuff to make sure that they acknowledge this, that it's changing, and that we have it on the record that they know that this changed? Because that can always come back to bite you as well. If you just send out a series of emails and it is a bigger thing, they don't look at those emails and then they're upset that they didn't feel like they had a heads up something was changing on their end. So I would seriously consider that as well if you're on the larger side. But this is pretty simple. It's just a nice system to have in the business. Like I said, you're going to be making these changes at some point, and you want to have a framework to be able to do that. So if you don't have this set up, you'd like this set up, you've never done this before, I did include a link in the description below. You can click on that. We'll see if we are a good fit as your consultants. If we are, we can come in, talk through what you guys need to set up, and build this specifically for your business. If that's you, look forward to speaking with you soon. Thanks.